Okay, I started the session recording. So right now it's 12:35, and I would like to welcome all students who joined us, and also our session of lecturers of New Galway who joined our session. So our session is sustaining our planet and people, and this is one of the greatest challenge nowadays. And you all know of the loss of biodiversity and global environmental changes which are happening, and including, of course, climate change which is happening, this COVID-19 stuff, what is going on around, our complex economic and societal impact due to the challenges of sustainable environment. And our programs, which we would like to represent, which to advertise today, and which we are all representing, they are dealing with environmental challenges. They're dealing with challenges of sustainability of our planet. And first, I would like to introduce our panel. So myself is Dr. Galina Brichkova, and I'm coordinator of the two master program. One master program is MSc Agri-Food Sustainability and Technology. This is a new master program which started just this year in the university. And this master, yeah, you can see it on a screen. So this master program actually is dealing with is running together with Chagas, and I will talk about this program a bit later. So right now, yes, I'll just close this one. And the second program which I'm representing, this is MSc in Agri Biosciences. This is a structured research master program. So actually, I'm representing two programs. One is fully it's taught master, and the second one structured research, which is in a way part taught and part research program. So next one, I would like to introduce Dr. Peter McKeown. Peter, can you please introduce yourself?
I can indeed. Peter McKeown. I'm the coordinator of the master's program in climate change, agriculture and food security. Happy to take questions.
Yeah, next one, I would like to introduce Geshe Kinderman. Geshe, can you please introduce yourself?
Of course, thank you, Galina. My name is Geshe Kinderman, and I am the director for the MSc in Environmental Leadership, one of our multidisciplinary courses that spans across a whole range of disciplines at NUI Galway. And I am also the academic coordinator for the blended learning MSc in Biodiversity and Land Use Planning, which is, as I said, a blended learning course, so therefore it is only a part-time course that runs over 2 years as opposed to the 1-year MSc in Environmental Leadership. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to all your questions about either one of those two courses.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much, Geshe. And the next one, Catriona. Catriona, can you please introduce yourself and what courses you are representing?
I will indeed. Thanks, Galina. Hi, everybody. My name is Katrina Carlin. I coordinate the MSc in Sustainable Environments, which is run across science, engineering, economics at NUI Galway. And I also coordinate the MSc in Sustainable Resource Management, Policy and Practice, which is a multidisciplinary course that we run jointly with the University of Limerick. And I'm happy to take your questions.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Katrina. Yeah, and last on our panel, but Brendan Allen, he will talk right now about his program, what he's representing. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brendan Allen. I represent Ag Innovate. So Ag Innovate is an MSc funded through Springboard, and also can take direct entrance as well, where we teach students how to innovate, not about innovation, but how you can actually go through an innovative process yourself. So it runs over a full 12-month year, and it's part-time. Majority online. We do have class at weekends and once a month, but we'll wait and see what happens with that. So happy to be here to answer any questions as well.
Yeah, Brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay, so now I have a question to students, to our participants or potential students. Do you have any questions straight ahead, or you would like to hear a bit about our programs first? We can organize the voting session. Yeah, just a second, polling. Yes. Yes, no choice. Do you like to hear about the programs? Yes. Just 1 second. Yeah, start. Okay, I'm starting the session of questions. So you can answer for the yes. Okay, I can see the answers. So we have 4 people who would like first to hear about our programs, at least to describe them first, and then we will take the questions from students. Okay, brilliant. So now I think everyone already knows how the system is working on Blackboard. So let's start then the introduction of the programs. Peter, would you like to be the first one?
Yes, I suppose someone has to start.
And
So,
I will share the program on the screen. Just 1 second. Yeah. So.
yes, if you can, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so just 1 second. Course overview. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Galina, as well as talking briefly about the program, I'm also going to mention a little bit about how it will be adapted for the particular circumstances of the coming year as well.
Brilliant.
One question there already. I'm sure it's just in many people's minds.
Okay, so here, like, this is the web page on our university website. So this is a program what Peter is representing, MSc Climate Change, Agriculture and Food Security. So, and Peter, you can go on.
Oh, I see, there it is, yes. Okay, so the MSc in Climate Change, Agriculture and Food Security was founded a few years ago to try and recruit diverse bodies of students to be trained in helping the world adapt to the need for sustainable, climate resilient food systems. We have a strong focus on the developing world as well as in Ireland. And work in collaboration with an international research program. Students generally spend the first 2 semesters taking skills training and taught modules. This year will be a mixture of blended learning approaches, so the lecturing content will be made available all online to avoid people needing to come onto the campus just for the lectures. But there will be on-campus activities with particularly small group learning activities and things like that, where social distancing can be followed and people can interact with each other in a safe manner. The final semester takes place from May and involves a 3-month research project leading to writing up a research paper or publication as the final thesis. This past year, students have been working collaboratively with international partners remotely. Usually they will travel to actually spend a placement working in international organization overseas in the developing world. We've had many students in the Far East, Africa, in other places, also in the USA. And we hope that travel will again be possible by next year to enable those very valuable placements to take place. Our graduates have gone on to Most of our graduates have gone on to further study or to positions within non-governmental organisations, farmers' organisations, or work groups affiliated to research institutions or UN bodies. I think I'll finish there, and if there's any more specific questions about content and so forth, then I'd be very happy to take questions later. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much, Peter. Yeah, Geshe, would you like to be the next one representing your program? And tell me what page to open for yourself.
Of course, no problem. So there's obviously the MSc in Environmental Leadership. This is a course that we designed to pull together the expertise from a whole range of different disciplines across NUI Galway. So the course includes modules from sciences, the natural sciences. It includes modules from geography, engineering, business, social marketing, as well as communication and ethics. And the idea is that we look at solving environmental problems from all the different disciplines and building on the strength of all of the different disciplines as such. The first 2 semesters are taught semesters. There are a range of core modules. These include, for example, environmental problems and solutions, natural resource governance, project management, research methods, environmental leadership and communications. And then there's a whole range of optional modules that students can choose from depending on their own areas of interest. And then, much like the course that Peter just described, there will be a research project at the end following on from the taught modules, and this can be either desk-based, lab-based or field-based, depending on what students have an interest in. A whole range of our students have gone on to work with to do their projects with relevant organisations this year. So, for example, the National Parks and Wildlife Services or Birdwatch Ireland. Depending again on people's areas of interest, we try to facilitate their research projects accordingly. The large-scale lectures, and I think Katrina already related to this in the chat function, large-scale lectures will actually all be taking place online. We can't obviously facilitate large groups on campus this year, but there will definitely be small cohort teaching for those for smaller groups. Often, obviously, our master's groups are actually smaller groups, so there will be on-site teaching for you, as well as field-based learning and problem-solving workshops that are online, that are in person as opposed to online. But all teaching will be supported by the Blackboard online function that we're currently using as well. So that's going to be there for everybody to use as well. Now, in addition to the environmental leadership course, I also coordinate the MSc in biodiversity and land use planning. As I said, this is a blended learning course, so that's always been set up to have 2 days of classes on site, and the rest of the teaching that per month, and then the rest of the teaching is done online anyway. So this course was actually ideally designed for the current scenario, to be honest. It was originally designed with the local authorities to fill training needs within the organisations, and now our students come from a whole range of backgrounds. Some of them already work with the likes of local authorities or consultancy and wish to upskill. Others come from an undergraduate programme and want to go into relevant areas such as, for example, biodiversity planning, or be it heritage officers or biodiversity officers in local authorities, work with consultancies, that sort of thing. And this blended learning course actually runs over 2 years and has 12 different taught modules, and then again also a research project, which ideally will be work-based for students. And I'm really happy to take questions about either one of those, but I'll hand over to somebody else to introduce their project, their courses if they want to. Thank you, Galina.
You're welcome. Katrina, would you like to introduce your programs?
Thanks a million, Galina. If we start with the Sustainable Resource Management Policy and Practice course, that course is run jointly with colleagues in the University of Limerick. So to explain that, semester 1 is based at Galway and semester 2 is based at UL. Those 2 sections are both taught modules. And then at the end of semester 2, as with the programs that Geisha and Peter have mentioned already, you would complete a project. You could complete that project either at NUI Galway or the University of Limerick, or occasionally we jointly supervise projects as well. And those projects can also be run in conjunction with external organisations. So the purpose of that course was, again, to bring that sort of interdisciplinary lens on the environmental problems and provide innovative ways of solving some of these challenges that Galina mentioned already. So there is overlap between all the programs that you've heard about, but this course was seen as a way to bring geography, sustainability, and science issues together to look at resource management and look at the role that legislation played, but also look at the role that people played in terms of implementing policies and finding sustainable practices. So then I think coming on from that, we developed the Sustainable Environments program because we recognized that.
Just one second, we'll open this one as well. So this is a program, yeah. Hello, Katrina? I think something is, there is a problem with Katrina's connection. Yeah, just one second.
Yeah, hopefully she'll be able to join us again, but this unfortunately happens on occasion. She is in a rather rural location where they, oh, there, Katrina, are you back?
I am. So I don't know where you lost me. I saw that I had got disconnected. So I was talking about the difference between sustainable environments and sustainable resource management. Did you manage to hear any of that?
Yeah. So we don't have a connection right now. Katrina.
Sorry, Galina, I didn't hear the last thing you said.
Yeah, we can't try to reconnect.
So I can hear you. Can you hear me at all?
No,
yeah,
we
can hear you
right now.
I can hear you fine.
Great.
Katrina.
Brilliant. Thanks a million. So the Sustainable Environments course really looks at integrating aspects of the built and natural environment. So there's a more practical aspect to that course. And maybe I should stop there and pass on to somebody else.
Sorry, can't hear you right.
I think Galina, she just said to move on to the next course.
Oh, okay. Then maybe the next one who will choose. Yeah. So guys, I'm representing two master programs here. So one master program, which is a structured master in agribiosciences. And we have two options for this program, either full-time or part-time. The same like Katrina's course, this program is actually ideally situated for the COVID situation because the structured nature of the program is that during the first semester, students are taking modules 2 times a week. So they don't need to be all time on campus. And some of the lectures, they are provided by our partner organization, by Chagas. And this year, these lectures likely will be provided online. So meaning that during the first semester, most of the learning in terms of lecturing, it will be online. Tutorials will be on campus. Some students who are not able to travel, they will be able to join online. And definitely, like as you can see, our program last year was shortlisted for the best new postgrad course and best science course. Students from our program usually are the one who are interested to pursue their careers in the areas of agri sustainability, so they're actually interested in agriculture and sustainability and environmental challenges. And uh, we are providing them a great opportunity to make research project during the full, starting from January. So starting from January, students are going on research placement, and research placement is actually the major component of the program. So as you see for the course outline, so there are main taught modules, but the major component would be the 60 ECTs of the research component. And research placement is either with partner organization Chagas or with companies in Ireland or in other countries. We had students on placement in France, in US, and depending on students' intention, which countries they wish to go and which areas they would like to work. And usually we are not restraining students to the type of project, so we have a diversity of research projects with students, starting from molecular biology work, and then ranging to GIS mapping or like survey analysis, etc. So it's really like a broad range of different projects. And this program actually is ending up by students presenting their research work either as research thesis, or they are writing an article based on their research, which is the preferable option. And another program which I would like to present here, this is a new program which we developed again in collaboration with Chagas. This is a new program starting this year. So it's called MSc in Agri-Food Sustainability and Technology. This program was developed in response to challenges of Irish business and Irish technological sector. There are not enough professionals and deeply trained scientists and researchers who are able, on the stage of master degree, who are able to join Chagas research or able to join R&D, and certain areas being addressed in this in this program. So, like for example, we have the modules on the food system, diet, nutrition, and technology on One Health. And of course, we are training students how to write in articles and preparing them to take a role in the R&D facilities. So actually, this is the main target of our program. So unlike the structured research program, this program is actually going like regular taught master program, where 60 ECTs will be the taught component and 30 ECTs will be the research placement. And research placement, let's say, as Chagas our main partners, so will be either with Chagas or with companies. So also some students will be accommodated on in campus or in the university, but it's depending on students' intention, depending on the project. So we are trying to accommodate on all students' research ideas, and of course the research ideas of our partners. So okay, so Katrine, are you back to us or not? Katrina,
I'm here, Galina.
would you like with your programs like and yes?
I do you mean in terms of the sustainable environments course?
No, actually we can't hear you.
I wonder, does it make sense to go on to somebody else, and then if people have questions, I can try and answer them in the chats?
I think that makes sense for the moment. Maybe Brendan would like to talk about his course.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you like to talk about the program?
Yeah, sure. I can give an overview. Can you hear me okay? Connection is a little bit poor.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'll just give a quick overview of Ag Innovate. Ag Innovate is a master's run part-time. So we were always online with a once a month classroom on a Saturday. We'll have no classrooms on in September or October. That's already decided, but by November we're hoping to get back because it will be a small group of about 30. There'll be 4 modules in it. We work on your own idea throughout. You don't have to bring an idea with you, but we teach you how to identify needs or problems and how you can convert that into products or services and bring them to full commercialization. That's what the course is all about. So it's an entrepreneurship and innovation process. The ideal outcomes for it is that you will have the insights into how to set up your own business or work as a head of innovation in a company, or as an advisor to people who are trying to innovate as well. We give you a lot of tools and techniques to do that. It's based on disciplined entrepreneurship by MIT, design thinking that has been developed by Stanford and IDEO, and lean startup. Those are the 3 methodologies. The modules you'll have are 2 top modules. One is on needs finding, so that's where you define problems and define the area that you want to innovate in. The second one is on implementation, so that's bringing the problem into a solution and bring it through to implementation for commercialization. Then you have 2 project modules. One is to write up the contents of the 2 modules really in an innovation project in an Enterprise Ireland style business plan format. And then finally, you'll have a dissertation, which is a minor dissertation to finish your, that'll be 30 credits, and that'll finish the 90 credits of a master's, and that'll be on a research question. So that's a more an academic exercise. That's the basic outline of it. You can contact me anytime to have a follow-up call on it. It's currently funded by Springboard in Ireland, if you're an Irish resident. If not, the fees are online as well. So that's pretty much the outline of Ag Innovate.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brendan. So, guys, I think we introduced you a bit our programs, and right now we are ready to take questions from our students, from our participants. So you can ask any questions. We are ready to take them.
I guess this question is directed towards Peter, if he's there. Just in terms of the research project, working with the companies, the partner companies, who is that mostly on our own behalf? I'd have to go finding or contacting them, or will that be done in college?
That would be done in collaboration. Usually we work with students to identify the contacts that they need to be making for where they want to take their careers. In a few cases, people have an area in mind when they arrive, but generally speaking, as they go through the course, their ideas also develop, and we're able to put them in touch with existing research contacts of our own. Would you be more focused within the Irish sector? Or thinking more of the international?
Oh, I haven't really thought about it, to be honest, but I just wanted to clarify, kind of clear that up, because I didn't want to leave it, if it was up to me, I didn't want to leave it to the last minute, but I haven't really thought too much about it, to be honest.
That's all right. That's all right. I mean, as I say, some people will come in with a clear idea, but generally speaking, people sort of explore the topics and that we go through and see what they want to focus more on. I should say that if any travel is involved, the costs are covered by the course, so that doesn't have to be a limitation.
Okay, perfect. Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah. Some other questions? Guys, don't be shy. If you don't wish to talk or you have a limitation with your microphone or whatever, you can write it in the chat and we will take the questions from there. Yeah, because I saw one of the questions which Johnny asked, what way will postgrad programs work on semester 1 and 2, and is attendance is envisaged? So actually it's depending on the program. So for some programs, especially the one which are blended program already, so it will be, the attendance is not required, so attendance online is required. But in case if some students are not able to take the classes, all lectures will be recorded this year. So students will have the access. Also, we know the limitation of students with online access because it might be bad internet connection for broadband, etc. So this is the reason why all lectures will be available online. For Irish, for the program where the presence on campus is obligatory, so of course students will need to be present unless there is a restriction with travel. And then again, as I said, the lectures will be available online. So, but everything is depending on program, of course. So, any other comments? Geshe, would you like to add something? Peter?
No, I think you've covered that very effectively there, but Peter might have something to say. Did you, Peter?
Yes, just to just to comment that where lectures are live, they'll be recorded, and the blackboard system makes things available for people to follow in sort of in different ways, so nobody will be excluded. If we have any international students who are participating in this session, you might also like to know that the university is putting in place arrangements for self-quarantining on campus upon arrival.
Yes,
that is what's recommended for public health purposes when you arrive.
this is brilliant comment, Peter. Yes, in case if someone is wondering, so actually right now the guidelines for students, international students who are arriving, is to stay self-isolated for 14 days. And university is trying to provide all possible facilities for students for self-isolation. Also, it will be welcoming in the international airports for people arriving to study on campus. Additional things what is provided by the universities this year, as and I think it's a great advantage for international students. So they have a possibility not to pay a full fee at once if they're applying for visa, arriving here on campus for the second semester, not for the first semester. They have to pay right now 50% fees instead of 100% fees. For Irish students, this was effectively, or for EU students, it was effective already. So people were able to pay an installment, not the full fees. But for international students, due to visa requirement, it was necessary to pay all fees at once. Right now, since students may arrive now only to the second semester, but not to stay for the first semester at their own place and to join online sessions, there is a possibility to apply for visa later, meaning that right now they will need to pay only 50% of the course fee. Yes, and I have, I see yes. Oh, yes. And the start date for the program, it will be 28 September. I think for most of the programs, it will be 28 of September. This is the current university policy. So the first semester will finish not in December, but in January. And then the second semester will finish not in May, but in June, meaning that the third semester will be extended till September.
Yeah, no, I think it's important, Galina, to also mention that all courses that are meant to be 1 year long will not extend beyond the 12-month duration. And as Katrina just pointed out, there is an orientation prior to the start of term on the 28th to help people familiarise themselves with Galway and NUI Galway as well. If you're coming from abroad, exactly as I said, it's from the 21st to the 28th is the orientation week. Part of it again will be on campus, part of it will be online.
Thank you very much, Geshe and Katrina. Yeah. Any additional comments? So, or any questions from students? Because we are trying to imagine what questions you may ask, but sometimes it will not work. That's good. Yeah, Tia, would you like to ask something?
Good day. Is there a calendar anywhere where I could familiarize myself with how the semesters are split up into, like, from which periods the semesters are split?
That's actually a really good question, Tia. I will have a look-see online and let you know. Normally, we do have the academic term dates posted on the NUI Galway website. I'm not certain that they have actually updated that just yet. I'll have a look and I'll see if I can share a link.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, guys? Thank you very much, Tia, for question. Yeah, we have a question from Katrina regarding what kind of career opportunities are within environmental leadership.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll take that. I will stop looking up the academic term dates. I apologize. Katrina, oh, Catherine, sorry, apologies for that. So the course is just finishing its second run, and all of our students have gone on into employment in relevant fields. Areas that they've gone on into is environmental consultancy. So they've started working in terms of project management, but also as environmental consultants. They have gone on to work as sustainability officers within companies, for example. They have gone on to work with local authorities, and I'm trying to think what else. So there's the private sector, consultancies, companies, and then public sector in terms of the local authorities, but also with organisations such as, for example, in an Irish setting, the inland fisheries. And oh, thank you very much for that, Katrina. She just posted the term dates. And then some also, some also stayed on in academia to move on to do PhDs. I hope that answers your question. So it's quite broad, and that's the idea of it, that you can go into any area you want to. So, for example, another area that's of interest to people this year in particular is, for example, wind energy. So we've people looking to move into that. One of our current students who hasn't actually graduated yet has also gone on to work in the area of waste management, for example. So there are a whole range of different opportunities in different sectors. I'm trying to think if there's anything I've left out, but that's all I can think of for now.
Yeah, thank you very much, Geshe. Any other questions? You can write or you can ask them aloud, so we are ready to take them. Actually, you also, I mean, if you're shy to ask right now, so you can ask the questions by writing directly to the course coordinators for each of the program.
Yeah, of course, we're all available to answer further questions if you have any other questions or queries. And I'm really happy as well, Catherine, for example, if you want more details. I'm sorry, I was rambling about where people have gone on to work, but I somehow hadn't thought that that was a question that was going to be asked. I don't know why I wasn't prepared for this. I apologize. But I think overall it's useful to just answer the question again, that there will be online as well as on-site components for all of you. Do take a look at the academic calendar in terms of what's taking place when. And oh, sorry, there's another question for me in terms of international projects. Yes, actually, the international projects are absolutely an option for the Environmental Leadership MSc. I have forgotten, actually, now that you mention it, that one of our students has gone on to work with an NGO project in South America, which was also part of her project that she did for us at the end of the term. Another one of our students has now gone on to work with an NGO in China. There you go. I apologize, I'd forgotten the international dimensions of the course as well.
Peter, we have a question for yourself. For the climate change, agriculture and food security masters, in terms of sustainable food system, what does it discuss plant-based food system? Peter?
Yeah, that would be one of the things that we would discuss is the dietary transition, as we call it. Where are we going to get sustainably sourced protein from? How are we going to preserve the incomes of those who are engaged in livestock farming while minimizing the carbon footprint? What kinds of dietary shifts are going to be necessary? A report which we've been working on with collaborators in America and Colombia for the last couple of years, which our students have been actually involved in, is simply asking the question that if you look at national diets, what people are consuming, how far are they from environmental ideals and from health ideals? What would be the potential carbon savings if people could be transitioned into sustainable diets that address hunger and micronutrient deficiencies while reducing their carbon footprints and possibly also their water footprints. So that would certainly be one of the things that we would discuss from different perspectives.
Thank you very much, Peter. And we have a question regarding the MSc Sustainable Resource Management.
Hi, Galina. I can answer that question.
Yeah.
So for the Sustainable Resource Management Policy and Practice, you share semester 1 lectures with sustainable environments, and in some cases, for 1 or 2 modules, depending on people's optional choices, you would also share with environmental leadership. So we are currently putting together a revised campus schedule, which will involve practical and group work, and our lectures will be delivered online. UL are similarly planning to do the same type of format where they will deliver lectures online, and they also have an international field trip, which at this moment is still going ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Katrine. Yes, and we have a very interesting question. Yes, in general, do environmental-based programs incorporate any form of culture or traditional knowledge in any way? So I think it can be addressed to all our panels. So who would like to be the first one to answer? Peter, I think it's if we're talking about the international students, I think climate change, it would be one of the interesting answer for this.
I'm sorry, for which question?
This is a question in general. Do environmental-based programs incorporate any form, of culture or traditional knowledge in any way?
Yeah, to some extent, that we take a balanced approach. In some cases, sustainable intensification or biotech approaches can be appropriate. In other cases, traditional patterns of land management are now being reevaluated in terms of the help they give to ecosystems while still producing foods. This is again something which some of our students we would introduce students to this in the lecture courses, and then for those for whom it's particularly interesting, we'll go on to explore further in their projects. I think there's an answer there from Katrina if she wants to elaborate.
Yeah,
from her perspective.
I'm actually happy to take that, Peter, because I think since Katrina this email is internet is not the soundest, but no, absolutely. So there is a module, a shared module that we have, which looks at environmental resilience, which absolutely looks at traditional cultures as a way, like at the approaches that they've taken and how that would be relevant to us today. But as well as that, for example, the Environmental Leadership MSc has looks at environmental ethics, which obviously looks greatly on culture and tradition in terms of where our current ethics and approaches come from. And as Peter has said, in terms of environmental management, the cultural and traditional impacts are really valuable to know and to understand, and often also to still consider in our current approaches, simply because they are essential to our understanding of how the world works. And often traditional approaches to, for example, farming are essential when we look at areas, for example, such as the Burren here in Ireland, which is very heavily reliant on that approach to farming as such. But no, absolutely, we do take culture and traditional knowledge into consideration. Absolutely. There's also another module that I can think of right now, which is an introduction to development in the environmental leadership course, that again looks at, you know, the approaches to development in the past and to how that has changed over time into the future.
Yeah, this is brilliant, Geshe. And I just wish to add for both of my program of MSc Agri Biosciences and MSc Agri Food Sustainability and Technology, where there are two shared modules, one of understanding Irish agriculture and agri-food sector, and agri-food sustainability and agri-resilience challenges. And both these modules, they are looking into traditions of Irish agriculture as a way of sustainability in terms of traditions and traditional knowledge and culture, importantly the culture of Irish population. And also would like to add that some of our students, they were the one who were doing the research placement in the areas of technology transfer offices in Chagos, so they were looking for the barren sustainability issues, again, which are tightly linked with the traditional cultures and challenges in these areas. So,
yeah, and the other point that Katrina very accurately makes is that it's also an option to explore that aspect further in a research project, if that is an area of interest. I know that there are students in the Sustainable Environments MSc who are looking, for example, at that aspect when it comes to some of the cultural and heritage value of particular species within Ireland. So it absolutely depends, at least in environmental leadership as well, it depends on your subject choices as to how strongly certain elements are represented.
brilliant. Thank you very much, Geshe. So any other questions? So you see, we really can't predict the questions for students. So for this reason, we would like to hear your questions. So, because we still have, yeah. Will assistance be given to when choosing courses for the environmental leadership?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's something that I'm always more than happy to discuss with individual students to see what subject choices will best suit, for example, their future plans in terms of where they want to go. And if they want to have more information about individual modules, I'm really happy to sit down with everybody to discuss them. There's also the opportunity to monitor certain modules if you wanted to sit into additional modules to see if they are of interest. And for the optional modules, there are also the opportunity to change a few weeks into the semester once a module has started. If you realize that it isn't for you, that you have the chance to move to a different module. So it's definitely an opportunity for you to figure out what it is that you want to do. But no, if you have any questions about any of the modules, I'm really happy to respond to them and again assist students in the decision-making projects and process. And all module owners are also available to contact to discuss modules if required.
Great, thank you very much, Geshe. Yes. So, are you folks in charge of the application process? If so, what do you look for during the selection process? Okay, so for the application process, yes, we are in charge of the application process. So as all you know, there is a system where you have online system where you have to apply, and as soon as you submitted all necessary documents, so then we are getting notification that a new person applied for the course, and then in on program. It can be the panel discussion from the, on the each individual applicant, and I think all the course representative may talk about their own process. But like for our for my programs, for example, we are taking decision based on student marks and based on student personal statement, because for us it's absolutely essential to know that students are devoted for, and they have an idea what they're going to do, and they're devoted to the area, that they're not just doing master for master. So in our case, this is how we are trying to select the students who are actually interested to do the research and to improve the skills and to be ready to work in the agri-food sector. So Peter, you would like to say something about your project, how you're making selection?
I can. I guess I speak for all of us when I say that what we really want to see is evidence of a passion for the subject area and the student explaining how they would be a fit for the program and the program would be a fit for them, which I think for probably everybody who's here being committed to attend events like this probably already has a lot of thoughts about where they're going. I think there's a comment there from Katrina saying something very similar. The motivation, that's the word I'm looking for, the motivation to do the course.
Yes. So I think for all of us, so we have more or less the same evaluation for the students. So this is how they're selected.
And I guess also to say that if any student is particularly interested in any of the courses, then please do be in touch with us to ask about the application procedure and what documents need to be provided. Actually, one other thing perhaps to say is that if you haven't studied through English before, you may need to provide English language competency during your application. We can guide you through that as well for this, because a lot of the English language offices are not open at the moment. You can take online qualifications like Duolingo and provide evidence of that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Peter. Thank you, Katrina. So any further questions? If it will be no further questions, so then likely we will close our session. And if you have any questions related to specific program, you can write to the course coordinators. You have in the chat the emails of all of us. So you actually can look at the emails right directly to the course coordinators or course directors. So. And all our programs are available online with the link how to find and how to apply and how to contact us. So feel free to contact.
Thanks, Galina.
Yeah, thank you for that, Galina. No, I think the main part is really to remember that we're always here to answer any questions if you have them. More than happy to do that. And yeah, other than that, I guess we'll be looking forward to applications coming in with good, strong personal statements.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. So then I'm closing the session, and feel free to contact us. And you're welcome to join us in 2020, 2021.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that, Galina. Thanks for your hosting.
Brilliant.